The sun rose like a promise over Cornwall's rugged coastline when Prince William's motorcade turned off the winding lanes and into the shadow of a centuries-old vineyard. Mist clung to the morning air, drifting between the gnarled vines like a silent herald of change, and seagulls cried overhead to welcome a pair of royals venturing beyond their gilded confines. Today, William would not appear in stiff morning coats or peer from a palace balcony. Today, he would stand shoulder to shoulder with his aunt, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, to chart new territory for a monarchy in transition, and in doing so, they would craft one of the most unexpectedly poignant scenes in recent memory. By midday, sunlight had banished the chill, and the Duchess, elegant in a cream-colored linen ensemble that caught the breeze, greeted William with a warm smile reminiscent of childhood summers at Balmoral. Their first steps were toward a repurposed barn, its wide doors flung open to reveal long oak tables stacked with artisan cheeses, rustic loaves, and barrels of Cornish cider pressed just beyond those walls. As William poured a sample into Sophie's glass, her eyes sparkled like dew on grape leaves. He lifted his own in playful challenge, widening his eyes in mock horror at the drink's brisk tang. "My dear aunt," he feigned complaint, hand pressed to chest, "I believe you're trying to turn me into a genuine West Country farmer." Sophie laughed, a clear, melodious sound that echoed through the rafters and seemed to set the very beams dancing. That laugh, caught by flashbulbs and now circulating on social media, did more than capture an amiable exchange. It revealed a bond of trust, a rare glimpse of levity in a palace world often dominated by protocol. For years, Sophie's public life felt constrained by the hushed expectations of a Countess of Wessex, dignified, dutiful, but seldom sensational. In March of last year, everything changed when King Charles conferred upon her the Dukedom of Edinburgh, a tribute both to the late Queen's enduring legacy and to the role Sophie was destined to play. Overnight, she became Duchess of Edinburgh, a title heavy with tradition and expectation. And yet, as she clinked cider glasses with William that morning, one could sense her relief. She was no longer merely a royal by marriage but a figure whose calm authority was officially recognized. Behind the scenes, palace insiders whisper that William and Catherine have quietly championed Sophie's elevation. Their support extends beyond family loyalty. It's part of a broader blueprint for a leaner, more resilient monarchy. With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepping back into American ventures and Prince Andrew remaining on permanent leave, the Windsor family has felt the absence of trusted lieutenants. Early on, Charles and William spoke of a streamlined institution, a crown unburdened by extraneous engagements, focused instead on core duties and genuine connection. Sophie and her husband, Prince Edward, emerged as the most dependable stewards, low on drama, high in dedication, and beloved by the late Queen for their unstinting service. That precedent is by no means new. In 1972, Prince Richard, Duke of Gloucester, forsook his architectural career to assume a deluge of royal responsibilities when his brother's untimely passing elevated him to heir of the dukedom. His quiet competence set a template for royals who answer the call of duty without fanfare. Today, Sophie follows in those footsteps, channeling her professional experiences, stints in the corporate world and humanitarian boards into focused patronages. Sources close to the family reveal that she is already in discussion to co-chair a Commonwealth Forum on women's empowerment and to expand her work with disability charities. In every new role, she brings the same thoughtful pragmatism she showed as a countess, now amplified by the gravitas of a duchess. Yet this careful expansion of roles comes with a deeper undercurrent of urgency. Royal aides have mapped out a core circle of working royals: William, Catherine, Sophie, and Edward, whose combined talents promise stability in unpredictable times. High atop this circle sits King Charles, whose own health challenges have cast a long shadow over the palace. In private audiences, he has praised Sophie's steadiness, urging his heirs to draw on her unwavering calm. Catherine, herself recovering from medical leave, has leaned heavily on her aunt's counsel, describing Sophie as the rock we never knew we needed. Together, they form a quartet bound not only by blood but by shared burden, sustaining an institution under relentless public gaze. Out in Cornwall, as the afternoon wore on, that bond took on the texture of real collaboration. The Duchess guided William through the vineyard's pressing rooms, recounting the transformative power of cooperative farming on local communities. He listened intently, nodding as he tasted the fresh-pressed juice, his gaze thoughtful as he considered parallels with community initiatives back home. This was no mere photo opportunity. According to one advisor present, the pair spent more time in earnest conversation about rural economy strategies than with any carefully scripted speech. When cameras were finally invited back inside, it was to capture a shared toast at sunset, William raising his glass to the peach and gold sky, Sophie echoing the sentiment as she surveyed the rippling vines. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Here were royals not confined by tradition but emboldened by it, ready to traverse new terrain for causes both grand and granular. The public response was immediate. Messages poured in from local shopkeepers, rescued veterans, and youth charities alike, praising the Duchess's authentic engagement and the Prince's supportive presence. Back at Buckingham Palace, those messages fueled a cascade of strategic discussions. Press officers noted a spike in public trust metrics, tied directly to Sophie's Cornwall appearance. Within days, the palace communications team drafted proposals for a series of regional royal summits, rotating between rural hubs and urban centers, each to be attended by Sophie and her senior counterparts. The aim: to democratize royal outreach, ensuring no corner of the realm feels overlooked. A whispered working title, Project Crown Connect, hinted at the monarchy's evolving mission: connection over ceremony, empathy over etiquette. In the corridors of Parliament, Sophie's ascendance resonated as well. The early years all-party parliamentary group dispatched a delegation to the Duchess's office, seeking her endorsement for expanded childcare funding. Ministers, generally cautious about royal involvement in policy, found themselves intrigued by Sophie's blend of compassion and concrete proposals. One MP noted, "Her Cornwall visit showed she is more than a figurehead, she is a collaborator with communities, a voice for the voiceless." Amid all these developments, Sophie herself remains quietly conscious of royal boundaries. Before any public announcement or overseas trip, she consults constitutional advisors to ensure her advocacy treads within agreed limits. In private moments, she has likened her role to choosing my battles wisely, a succinct acknowledgement of the tightrope royals walk between relevance and restraint. As twilight fell again on Windsor's ancient stones, the castle's lights glimmered like stars come down to earth. Wind rustled through the turrets, carrying echoes of a day when royals embraced both tradition and transformation. In those echoes lay the future, a crown not defined by singular grandeur but by collective strength, not preserved by isolation but renewed through genuine service. Dear viewers, as you reflect on this unfolding chapter, consider this. When the next generation of royals ascends, what qualities will matter most? Will it be pageantry, protocol, and pedigree, or empathy, adaptability, and quiet resolve? And which unassuming figure might rise next, turning a single shared sunrise into a beacon of renewal? Stay with us as we continue to trace these stories behind palace walls. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell, for tomorrow's royal revelation could arrive where you least expect it, beyond the gilded gates, in the heart of a vineyard where legacy meets possibility.